Assalamu alaikum, dear students. So, in this lecture, we are continuing with our previous chapter. We have already talked about some basic concepts of phonology. In the previous lecture, we have talked about the basic concept and definition of phonology, its importance, its relationship with other disciplines, the concept of phoneme, phone, and allophone, etc. I have already told you that we are following George Jules' book, The Study of Language. So let's move towards today's lecture. First of all, let's see what is a syllable. A syllable is a unit of pronunciation or a sequence of speech sounds that has one vowel sound. The vowel sound is compulsory. We must have a vowel in a syllable, and that's how that vowel is with or without consonants before or after it. This organization of vowel and consonant forms either a complete word or it can be a part of word. For example, in the examples of cat, it is a complete word plus it is a syllable. In the example of water, wo one syllable, cha second syllable, and these two syllables are part of a complete word, that is water. Similarly, in butterfly, we have butterfly. We have three syllables, yani it means that the word butterfly has three syllables. It is combination of three parts. Fly, fly, fly has a vowel like sound. Y is a vowel like or a semi vowel, and it forms a syllable. Let's try to understand uh, what do we mean by a syllable uh, in with a few more detailed descriptions. As I have already told you that a syllable must have a vowel, but this vowel is usually surrounded by one or more consonants. These consonants, when they occur together, are called clusters. These consonants, when occurring together, are called consonant clusters, or sometimes they are also known as blends. A syllable is divided into two parts. One is an onset and the other is a rhyme. Let us try to understand this concept with the help of this figure that I have given here. You can see that the onset means the consonant or the consonant cluster that occur before the vowel, while the rhyme consists of a nucleus, and the nucleus is a vowel or vowel like sound, and then we have a coda in the rhyme. Coda is the final consonant or consonant cluster. Now, what is a vowel like sound? I have already told you that the Y letter, the sound of Y, that the letter Y that takes the sound of E, butterfly. Consider the examples of copy, COPY, copy. You have the Y sound, Y letter at the end that takes the sound of A, copy, then happy, butterfly, etc. So now we know what is a vowel like sound. It is also sometimes called semi vowel. So now we are familiar with the basic structure of the syllable. It is a good idea to move towards the types of syllables. Syllables are of two types. One is open syllable and the other is closed syllable. In the open syllable type, our nucleus, which is our vowel, is not followed by a consonant, which means that there is no consonant after the vowel. I have highlighted the examples of the open vowel with a yellow font color in these slides. The other type is a closed syllable. In these syllables, the closed syllables, our nucleus has a coda, and we know that a coda is a consonant or consonant cluster that comes after the vowel. We have already discussed this consonant cluster, but I want to add one thing here. In the English, we can have as many consonant in the onset as three. Three letters from English alphabet which are consonant can occur together in the onset part of the syllable. And usually English have syllables with maximum 4 consonants coming together as coda. One more thing I have already mentioned, that these consonant clusters are also called blends, BLENDS, blends sometimes. You can see the word written in the slides as well. So so phonotactics, as we have already discussed in the previous chapter, is the blueprint of the rules that govern the structure of a language. These phonotactics tell us about the possible or impossible structures in the form of syllables, sounds, words, or sentences, etc., of a language. The phonotactics of syllables tell us that in English phonology, following rules govern the formation of syllables. First rule, as I have already mentioned in the previous slide, that English syllables have 3 consonants before vowel and 4 after it. It can have maximum 3 consonants as consonant cluster in the onset and 4 in the coda. But these are very rare cases of 4 consonants coming together in the coda. Try finding some words, you will find obviously, but this is a very rare scene. But there are other rules as well. The phonotactics of English also restrict us from using the 3 consonants coming together with one more condition as well. The first consonant C of this formation is always an S, which must be followed either by P, T, or K, which are all voiceless stops. We have studied the manner and places of articulation, and we are aware of the terms like voiceless, voiced, fricatives, and other such terms. So these voiceless stops are then followed by L, R, or W, which are known as glides. If this condition is not met, we cannot form a syllable of English with a blend of 3 consonants coming together as an onset or coda. The last thing, that the voiced palatal fricative, we know that y sound and engma, that cannot come in the initial position or as the onset of a syllable. So now we are aware with the conditions of phonotactics that let us make a syllable in English. Now let's see what's next. Next is co-articulation effect. Till now we have just discussed the sounds or phonemes or words of English language in isolation as imaginary thing. But we know our everyday speech is not like that. We rarely utter words in isolation. Our speech is usually rapid, and our articulators before finishing one sound move toward the next sound and so on. This is in this rapid and speedily flowing speech, our speech sounds are mixed with one another. they take over each other. They are affected by the features and quality of the other speech sound that surround them. This influence of one speech sound on the next neighboring speech sound is called the co-articulation effect. We have two types of co-articulation effect. One is known as assimilation and the other is elision. Assimilation is the phonological process wherein a sound changes or becomes more similar to the other nearby sound, neighboring sound. It can happen in within a word. For example, in the example of pin and pan, the e or the I, long I, takes the nasalized effect from the nasal sound n and become nasalized pin. And the other examples, you can see that the long vowel is shortened, which is known as vowel reduction, and velarization, where I can n, the final n, can, in can, the final n takes the velarized effect from the g sound and becomes a bit velarized. I can go. Instead of saying I can go separately, we usually speak in a rapid form and we say I can go, where the final nasal n takes a bit effect from the velar g. Then let's see what is elision. In elision, we skip or just not produce a part or segment of speech sound. We omit many sounds in our everyday casual and rapid speech. For example, you and I. You and I is a correct grammatical structure. Here in the slide, it is written you and me, which is not grammatically a standard form. The standard is you and I, and in you and I didn't pronounce the d sound, and I simply say you and I. You and I. It happens in our everyday speech. We do a lot. We use this feature of elision a lot, and we omit so many sounds while we are speaking rapidly. Friendship is another example. Aspects, you can see it also here. So we have finished this chapter. Thank you so much, dear students, for listening to it. And since we have finished this chapter today, now be ready for a quiz. As I have already told you that after finishing this chapter, we shall have a test, a quiz, which will be taken online. And if you have any questions, you can ask me in the WhatsApp group.